Welcome to my channel. Listen to my stories every day. Comment, like and subscribe to my channel. Enjoy listening.
My name is Evan. For nearly 20 years, I've shared my life with Rachel, my wife, who I now know has been unfaithful. Our marriage, once filled with laughter and shared dreams, has withered into a facade, and I, a silent spectator to its demise. The change in Rachel wasn't sudden. It seeped into our daily life like a slow, insidious poison. She started staying late at work more often, claiming the pile of responsibilities grew as her company downsized. "It's just for a while, Evan," she would say, her eyes not meeting mine. I believed her, or at least, I tried. Then came the nights out. Initially, it was just once a week, then two, then it became her routine. Just unwinding with the girls, she'd laugh it off, applying her lipstick with care, dressing as though each night was a celebration. One crisp autumn evening, as I sat alone in the living room flipping through a sports magazine, I decided I couldn't bear the gnawing doubts anymore. The quiet of our home, punctuated only by the ticking of the clock, felt like a mockery of our marriage. I grabbed my coat and keys, my heart pounding with a mix of fear and fury. I followed her discreetly as she drove her sleek, silver car through the winding streets of our town. The journey didn't take long, soon she pulled up in a familiar neighborhood. I parked my car a few blocks away and walked towards the address that had now become the center of my universe. It was Mike's house, my best friend, or so I thought. The betrayal stung sharper and deeper than I had imagined. The sight of Rachel entering his house with a familiarity that spoke of countless visits shattered the last of my denial. That night, as I walked back to my car under the shadowed trees, a plan began to take root in my mind. Revenge, a cold, calculated revenge that would ruin both Rachel and Mike for their deception. The following days were a blur of planning. I collected evidence, taking photos and gathering bits of conversations, my phone always tucked away discreetly. Each piece of evidence was a confirmation, a building block for the retribution that brewed in my heart. "Evan, you've been distant lately, is everything all right?" Rachel's voice broke through my thoughts one evening as we sat at the dinner table, the sound of clinking cutlery filling the silence between us. "Everything's fine," I replied, my voice steady despite the turmoil inside. "Just tired, that's all." She nodded, seemingly satisfied with the answer, but her eyes lingered on me with a trace of concern, or was it guilt? I could barely tell anymore. The woman across from me was a stranger, cloaked in the familiarity of a shared past. As I excused myself from the table, claiming fatigue, I walked up to our bedroom and looked around. The room echoed with the remnants of our shared life, each object a testament to the years spent together. But now, it felt like a stage set for a play that had long since ended. The game was on, and there was no turning back. Rachel and Mike would soon find their worlds crumbling around them, just as mine had. This was just the beginning, and the end, I knew, would be catastrophic. I sat down at my desk, the moon casting a pale glow through the window, and began to write the first of many letters that would expose their deceit. The pen moved steadily, fueled by a resolve as cold as the night air. "By the time you read this," I began, the words etching the first line of their downfall. "I begin the next phase of my plan under a cloud-covered sky, the early morning mist swirling around my steps as I head to the local cafe. My heart pounds with anticipation and a grim sense of purpose. Today, I'll confront Mike, but not with accusations. Instead, I choose a subtler, more devastating approach. Mike is already there when I arrive, his back to the door, a cup of coffee steaming in front of him. He looks up with a smile as I approach, unaware of the storm brewing just beneath my calm exterior. "Evan, buddy. I didn't expect to see you here," he greets, standing up to give me a firm handshake. "I needed to talk, Mike." "It's important," I say, my voice even, masking the turmoil inside. We sit, and I start with casual talk about work and life, watching him relax. After a few minutes, I lean forward, fixing him with a steady gaze. "Mike, you've been my friend for years. I trust you more than anyone else. That's why I need your advice on something personal. His expression shifts to concern. Of course, Evan, anything. It's Rachel. I think she's seeing someone else, I say, dropping the bombshell, gauging his reaction closely. Mike's face pales, a flicker of guilt, or is it panic, crossing his features before he masks it with concern. Evan, that's rough, man. What makes you think that? Just a feeling. Nights out, late work hours. And she's distant, you know. I keep my tone despondent, my eyes searching his. Yeah, I understand, he replies, his voice a little too quick, a little too sympathetic. You need to talk to her, man. Clear things up. I will, I nod, my decision solidifying with his every uneasy shift. Thanks, Mike. I knew I could count on you. We part ways, and as I walk away, I feel a twisted satisfaction at the seeds of doubt I've planted. Now to watch them take root. Later that day, I arrange a meeting with another key player in my plan, Angela, a mutual friend of Rachel and mine, known for her keen intuition and network of connections. We meet at a park, the autumn leaves a riot of color around us. Angela, I need your help, I begin, once we find a quiet spot away from prying ears. What's going on, Evan? She asks, concern etching her features. It's Rachel. I think she might be having an affair, I confide, keeping my voice low. Angela's eyes widen. Oh, Evan, I'm so sorry. What do you need from me? I need to know if you've seen her with anyone unusual or heard anything. You're the one person I trust to be honest with me, I explain. Angela nods, her expression grave. I'll keep my eyes open, Evan. You deserve the truth. Thank you, Angela. I appreciate it more than you know, I say, feeling the pieces of my plan locking into place. As I leave the park, my phone buzzes, a message from a private investigator I'd hired days ago. The text is brief, got something you'll want to see. Meet tomorrow. Every step I take feels charged, the weight of the impending revelations both a burden and a catalyst. Rachel and Mike's facade will soon crumble, and I'll be there to witness the fallout, the architect of their undoing. Tonight, though, I sit alone in the quiet of our living room, the shadows long and deep. The clock ticks steadily, each sound a reminder of the approaching storm. Tomorrow, the next act of my revenge would unfold. The morning air is crisp, tinged with the scent of impending rain as I make my way to a nondescript cafe downtown. The detective, a man named Carl, is already waiting, a folder thick with evidence on the table in front of him. Evan, he nods as I sit down, pushing the folder towards me. What do we have? I ask, my voice steady despite the storm of emotions inside. Carl opens the folder, revealing a series of photographs and detailed reports. Rachel's been careful, but not careful enough. These were taken over the last 2 weeks. He points to a series of images showing Rachel and Mike together in various settings that are decidedly not business-related. A surge of anger and betrayal washes over me, but I keep my expression controlled. Is there more? I ask, my fingers tightening around the edge of the table. Audio recordings from some of their meetings. They've been cautious, mostly meeting in public places, but there's enough here to make their intentions clear, Carl explains, handing me a USB drive. Thank you, Carl. This is excellent work, I say, my mind racing with the implications of the evidence now at my disposal. Anything else you need, just let me know, Carl replies, closing the folder as we stand to leave. Back in my car, I sit for a moment, the weight of the evidence heavy in my hands. This is it, the undeniable proof of their betrayal. The next steps of my plan begin to unfold in my mind, each more decisive than the last. I drive to Angela's house, the USB and photos tucked securely in my briefcase. She greets me at the door, her face etched with concern. Evan, come in. Did you find out anything? she asks as I enter. Yes, and it's as bad as we feared, I say, handing her the evidence. I need your help for the next part of this. Angela browses through the documents with a frown. What are you planning, Evan? I'm going to expose them, but it needs to be public and undeniable. I thought about sending everything to their families and colleagues, I explain, my plan taking shape as I speak. That's quite drastic, Evan. Are you sure? Angela's voice is hesitant. Yes, I've never been more certain of anything, I reply. But I'll need your help to organize a gathering, perhaps a party. An opportunity where everyone they care about will see what they've been hiding. Angela nods slowly, understanding the depth of my resolve. Okay, Evan. I'll help you. Let's plan this carefully. We spend the next few hours planning the event under the guise of an anniversary celebration for Rachel and me, a cruel irony not lost on either of us. Invitations are discreetly sent out, including one to Mike, who, unbeknownst to him, will be the guest of dishonor. The days leading up to the party are a blur of activity. Angela proves invaluable, managing the logistics while I focus on the final details of my reveal. The tension builds with each passing day, the air thick with the impending storm. On the evening of the party, the setting is perfect. Our home is filled with friends, family, and unsuspecting co-conspirators. Rachel looks radiant, unaware of the storm about to break. Mike arrives, looking slightly uncomfortable, perhaps sensing the charged atmosphere. As the guests mingle, I prepare to unveil the truth. With a glass of champagne in hand, I tap my spoon against it, calling for attention. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for joining us tonight. I have something important to share, something that cannot wait any longer, I announce, my voice calm but loud enough to carry over the crowd. The room falls silent, all eyes on me. This is the moment of truth, the point of no return. My heart beats a furious rhythm as I prepare to expose the betrayal, forever altering the course of our lives. The revenge is sweet, but the victory feels hollow as I watch the faces around me turn from confusion to shock. This is just the beginning, and the fallout is sure to be monumental. The room holds its breath as I stand, the weight of the moment heavy on my shoulders. Rachel's eyes, filled with confusion, meet mine. Mike's face is unreadable, a mask of apprehension. The guests shift uncomfortably, sensing the impending drama. I have discovered something that none of us could foresee, something that changes everything, I begin, my voice steady. The gathered crowd murmurs, anticipation hanging thickly in the air. Tonight, we are here to celebrate my and Rachel's anniversary. But, unfortunately, this celebration is under false pretenses, I continue, my gaze sweeping over the room. Rachel's face pales, and she reaches out, touching my arm. Evan, what is it? You're scaring me. I pause, the silence stretching taut between us. Then, slowly, I turn the laptop connected to the projector on the table beside me. A click, and the screen lights up, displaying photos and audio clips of Rachel and Mike in various clandestine meetings. Gasps and whispers ripple through the room as the evidence of their betrayal is laid bare. But I raise my hand, signaling for silence. Please, let me finish, I say, my voice carrying a surprising calm. This isn't just about betrayal. It's about deception far deeper than any of us realized. I turn to Mike, who stands stiffly, his eyes narrowed in a mix of defiance and fear. Mike, do you have anything you wish to say? Mike shakes his head, his jaw clenched. But before he can speak, the front door swings open. A woman walks in, unknown to most but familiar to me, a private investigator I hired to dig deeper than just the surface affair. This is Ms. Carter, and she has been helping me uncover the full story, I introduce her. Ms. Carter nods politely to the stunned audience and then looks directly at Mike. Not only has Mike been unfaithful to our friendship, but he has also been involved in embezzling money from the company we both work for. This affair was merely a distraction, a way to keep me from discovering the real deception. Rachel gasps, turning to Mike, her expression one of horror. Is that true, Mike? Tell me it's not true. Mike remains silent, his defeat evident as Ms. Carter hands out documents to the guests, showing clear evidence of financial misconduct traced back to him. But there's more, I add, the room's tension escalating. Rachel, please look at these documents. You'll see that I knew about the affair for months. My real motive tonight was not just to expose, but to clear the path. Confusion spreads across Rachel's face. Clear the path. For what? For this, I say, pulling out another set of documents from my briefcase. These are divorce papers, and a contract for a new business venture, one that does not include Mike. I wanted out of both my marriage and my partnership with him, but not before exposing his crimes, ensuring he couldn't hurt anyone else. Rachel stands frozen, the impact of my words hitting her. The room is eerily silent, everyone processing the layers of deceit they've just witnessed. I'm sorry it had to end this way, I say, my voice softer now, directed at Rachel. I wish things could have been different. As the party dissolves into chaos, with guests whispering and Rachel in tears, I turn to leave, the heavy burden of my actions settling in. But as I reach the door, Rachel's voice stops me. Evan, wait, she says, her voice cracking. I pause, not turning back. This wasn't just about revenge, was it? It was about liberation, she states, more than asks. Yes, I admit without looking at her, my eyes on the threshold of a new, solitary life. Liberation for both of us from a life that wasn't honest or fulfilling. With that, I step out into the cool night, the door closing behind me, the chapter of Rachel and Mike concluded in a denouement no one, least of all I, could have predicted fully. The air feels different, heavy yet clear, as I walk into the future, alone and unburdened, ready to start anew.